Hi students, for today we're going to discuss the elements of accounting. Before that, let's have a recap of the topic that we have last time, accounting tipos. I hope with the previous discussions that we had, for now medyo tipo nyo na ang financial accounting and reporting para maiwasan yung tipos, no? Matipos kayo at magkasakit, sumakit ang ulo. But, okay. So, ano na uli nga ba? Yung tools, these are the techniques for us to be able to prepare financial statement. And ano yung dapat yung isipin pag input? Dapat daw relevant and reliable. Dahil garbage in, garbage out pag hindi natin masasatisfy yung R plus R. At our process should use system approach because there are specific procedures that you have to follow. Why? Kasi gusto natin na ma-maximize, no? Yung two heads are better than one. Synergy effect in your output because gusto natin na maging effective na, efficient pa to assure the achievement of the goal when we have the relevance and reliability with the output as well as the input as supported by the auditability of the system. Ano yung napag-aralan natin sa tipos ng FAR? Your books of account and your transactions. Okay? At dalawa ang tatandaan natin lagi sa books of account and transaction. Ano to? General and special, general and subsidiary when it comes to journal and ledger. Puro to yun, no? And your transactions, dalawa din. Asset and equities. Ano yung layman's term sa transaction? Dalawa lang din yan. Events or activities. No? Ano bang sagot pag 2 times 2? 4. Your accounting cycle focuses first on the 4 steps, then followed by 5. And all in all, pag binilang yung accounting cycle, siyam yan. No? Those are the specific steps that you have to follow to assure us to have the financial statement in making decision. And your decision, 5 yan. Your code is sound. Profitability, ma-perform, solvency, malakas, activity, efficient, liquidity, mapera, and market valuation, yung ikaw ay highly demanded. No? And your source document and your financial statement would serve as documentation, would serve as evidence. Okay. Now, we're done with the overview of bar and accounting functions. We're going to discuss, of course, accounting elements. After that, your equation and definition. Then, we will look into the details of recording. Now, what are your accounting elements? These are items that you are already familiar of. If you notice, ano to? Ayan, may pera, may bahay, ano yan, ari-arian. O ano English ng ari-arian? Asset. Yan ang mga natanggap mo, yan ang meron ka. No? Those are what you have. And where does it came from? Naku, mukhang nahihirapan yung tao kasi may mga liabilities siya, may mga utang siya, may mga pangako na dala-dala siya, no, na dapat niyang isatisfy. So, yung asset nanggagaling daw sa liability because it was given by the creditor. And your asset will also came from whom? Or from where? Equity. And equity also is what was given by the owner. So, lahat ng ari-arian mo nanggaling kay creditor at owner. And ito ay may claim sila sa asset, si creditor at saka si owner. No? Now, ano ang keyword natin pag asset? Siyempre resources, no? Kasi ang resources, these are you are expected benefits in the future, no? And so, ano yung technical definition niya from the standards? We already specified that the keyword is resource. We all know that accounting is all about the past because you would like to have benefits in the future. But the other word that's also important is controlled. Kailangan daw ikaw ang may desisyon. Ikaw ang nagdedesisyon, no? Kung saan mo gagamitin ang iyong pag-aari. Yan. And when you talk about resources, pwede yung dito ay tangible and intangible. And also, you have to utilize your skills, no? For you to be able to maximize your resource. And when it is tangible, it is a property, and intangible, these are rights. Let's take a look. Ano yung relasyon ng tangible, intangible, no? With regards to your output, no? The time period is actually current and non-current when it comes to property and rights as to the element, no? With regards to your asset. If the time period is divided into two, current and non-current, then let's take a look at which one will be property and which one will be right when it comes to your resources. In your non-current asset, you have 4, and in your current asset, you have 5. Ang cash ba nahahawakan? Oo, nakikita yan eh. So, property. Yung short-term investment, naku, rights yan kasi you are expecting to receive a distribution, a dividend out of it, no, earnings. Yung receivable, ipautang mo yan eh. O di may karapatan kang maningil. Yung inventory, yung goods, syempre nahahawakan yan, no? So, property. Paano prepayments? Rights din yan kasi mga sample yan, advertisement, di ba? Insurance. So, karapatan din yan, no? Puro karapatan. At papapansin nyo, sa current asset, 2 lang ang property. No? The rest are rights. How about non-current asset? Ang investment, long-term yan ng short-term ng marketable security. So, karapatan din yan. Siyempre, mga property, nakikita yan. Yung isa nga, intangible na yan, diba? So, right yan. And of course, other asset, pag hindi makakwalify dun sa first 3 and the other 5, that will be other asset. Basta alam mong sa'yo, pero hindi nag-qualify dun sa conditions para maging cash, marketable security, receivable, inventory, prepayments, and the other non-current asset, magiging other asset. So, tingnan nyo nga mabuti. Ano ba mas marami? Property o rights? Tingnan nyo yung naka-blue at nakapula. Ang pula, 5. Siyam na klase pala yung resources natin, 5 plus 4. No? So, 5 yung rights. O, do you understand now? Why it's somehow on the first, when you have first taken up accounting, it's somehow quite challenging, a little difficult. Why? Ang karelasyon mo lagi, hindi na nakikita, di pa nahahawakan. Puro nararamdaman lang. Minsan pwedeng mali kasi nararamdaman mo, di ba? So, that's why, medyo challenging kasi mas maraming ang karelasyon mo sa resources ay puro rights. We have 5 rights, okay? Now, what is the second concern? Ano daw yan? Ang resources of the firm, apat yan, no? We have land, labor, capital, and information. And these are also, the other term would be land is a physical capital resource, labor is a human capital resource, and capital and information are both organizational capital resources. Okay? Now, let's go to the second element, liability. Di ba sabi natin ang liability promises? Dahil nangako ka, may obligasyon ka na i-fulfill yung obligation mo. Sa iba, sa layman's point of view, ang tawag lang dyan, debt. No? Medyo pakinggan, no? Debt. Pero kasi pag hindi mo na-satisfy o hindi mo pinulfill ang obligation mo, yung mga pangako mo sa karelasyon mo, mamamatay talaga yung relasyon nyo. Diba? Yan. Now, what are your promises? Siyempre, promises yan. Medyo very conscious ka, no? And these are providing goods or services and pay in money. And among the promises, it's pay in money na mas madalas na you have to provide. No, you have to fulfill when it comes to obligation. Now, ano yung mga crucial pagka-liability with regards to the standard? Yung outflow of resource. Kasi nga may claim, no? Yung creditor sa asset. So, siyempre, pag pangako, ngayon mo gawin yan. Hindi pwedeng saka na. Nangako ka so gawin mo na. So, it's a present aspect, no? When it comes to obligation. Kasi, meron kang pinangako dati, the past. At yung ari-arian mo ang you are going to utilize. Likewise, with equity, in relation to the owner, for you to be an owner, tatlo yung ini-invest mo. Pwedeng kagalingan mo, industry or skill, then ito intangible, tapos yung dalawa, tangible, cash or property, or even cash and property. No? Yan. So if these are the forms, ano ba ang equity? Kita nyo, residual. Natatandaan nyo sa science, may residue. Di ba pag residue natira? Ay, ang equity ganoon. Ang lagi kasi may unang claim sa asset in terms of priority, creditor. Pag may natira sa ari-arian mo, sa ari-arian ng negosyo, tsaka lang merong mapwedeng ibigay sa may-ari. No? Pagka kasi namatay na yung negosyo at may utang ka pa, syempre yung personal property ng may-ari, obligado bigay niya muna, satisfy niya muna doon sa owner, sa sa creditor. Kaya minsan pag nalugi talaga yung negosyo, walang napupunta sa owner. Yan, kasi residual. Kung may natira o tira-tirahan, tsaka ka lang merong pwedeng i-claim sa business. Okay. So, ano ba ang relasyon ng accounting element sa transaction? Ito daw ay, ano yung symbol na yan? Input. No? It is an input when it comes to your accounting processes. Ano na uli yan? Asset and equities. And these equities will be divided into liabilities and the investment by the owner, of which the asset and liability may either be short-term or long-term. The equity will have 5 items. These are the original investment, an additional investment, withdrawal, revenue, and deductions to revenue. So our code there with our transaction is ALE, and your asset and liability is of 2 items, and your equity is of 5 items, all of which will be the input as part of your accounting elements. And there are 2 O's with your transaction, what you own and what you owe. What you own, again, are your asset, and what you owe are your liability and equity. These are the claims of the creditor and the owner, no? And you own the asset, and you owe promises when it comes to liability, and you owe promises to the author to distribute earnings because they have claims on these earnings, and when it comes to creditor, they have claims when it comes to payment of the obligation. Now, how about the relationship of accounting elements to a financial statement? Of course, your ALE is reflected in the statement of financial position. Then the income and expenses will be reflected in the statement of operations. And that is with regards to the output of accounting processes, diba? So, affected ng 5 accounting elements yung financial statement na dalawa. Okay? So, we talk about the different actions that we learn from accounting elements. That is, it would be utilized with regards to your financial statements. So, there is a need for us to think about these elements as part of TPOS, because this would affect the accounting cycle and the decisions based on the prepared financial statement, which are SALM and PAS. Okay, so what's our key takeaways? That is, Your accounting element would affect the output, which are the financial statement, and the input, which are your transactions. And so, do you now believe that there's a system approach? Yes, because naaapektuhan ng element, no? Yung output na, input pa to maximize your activities efficiency. No, there are 5 elements affecting your financial statements, and there are two major transactions affecting your activities or your financial statements. Okay, be safe. Good day.